lads, and welcome to episode 65 of the Harsh Vocals Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Corbett, and with me is my good friend, Christian Renner. How are you doing today, man?
Pretty good. Episode 65, man. I know we keep talking about this here and there, but man, hard to believe we're at 65 already.
I know. Consistency is key.
Consistency.
There's been so much good music over the past 2.5 years that we've been doing this that I can't imagine not having episodes.
Yeah. And we talk about the level of talent that's out there all the time and how impressed we are by it. But if you really, really sit back and think about it, is there any other genre of music out there that is as progressive and as wide-ranging as metal is?
I don't think so. We talked about that a little bit on the last episode, and I actually got a couple of messages from different people telling me that I was wrong about country. So I'm going to issue a correction here. My exposure to country has always been that there's singer-songwriters that are creating their music and stuff. But I guess the last time I was really even kind of clued into the country music scene was like a decade or more ago. Apparently nowadays, that's not so much the case. There's a lot more of the same mentality that goes into pop music in country. And so it's not nearly worthy of being held up to metal like it used to be. So I had a couple of good conversations about that, and I apologize if I was wrong. I was also wrong about a statement I made regarding Blood Incantation, Wayfarer, and Stormkeep, because I said the same guys were in all three bands. One of our listeners, Andrew, told me that there's only one member that shares across all those bands, and that's Isaac, the drummer, but he is the main creative force behind Stormkeep and also possibly Wayfarer. I don't mean to say the wrong thing if I say the wrong thing. I try to be as accurate as possible, but occasionally I do get it wrong. So just to throw that out there and clarify, apologies for making the wrong statement.
And swinging back around to country, we actually got some bad news today.
That's true. Dolly Parton died.
Dolly Parton passed away. And
even if you're a metalhead, even if you never listened to really Dolly Parton's music or anything, she was a genuine good person, talented musician, did a lot for kids, did a lot for the world. And so she's somebody that's worth mourning regardless of your music preferences. I think it's definitely,
she did create a metal album.
Yeah. She's Noel tried to make her into a metal icon. She's on all their t-shirts.
And I love the fact that when they were trying to put her in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, at first, she was like, I'm not a rock and roll singer. The Country Music Hall of Fame, sure, but the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, she ended up relenting, but still. I do like the fact that she was like, hey, that's not for me. Just because I'm popular doesn't necessarily mean, I kind of wish other people would do that as well.
Oh, no. Most people will just accept whatever accolades are thrown at them.
Yeah. It is what it is, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll be missed. She'll definitely be missed.
Definitely. All right, enough sad, somber topics. Let's move on to music because it's been a pretty great couple of weeks. There's a lot of really good albums to talk about. Less honorable mentions, I think, than there typically is, but maybe that's just because the quality ones stood out more.
Yeah, I think so.
But let's just dive right in. What do you have first, Christian?
My first pick is the band SAROF, S-A-R-O-F. I'm going to assume that's how you say it, SAROF. We have the album Via Descendi. This is Melodeath from Finland. This is their second album. They are unsigned. The track that I picked is The Pit, because if there's a song on there called The Pit, I'm going to have to pick it. It just makes sense. And I have to start out with just saying this is, without a doubt, one of the best balanced Melodeath albums I've heard in quite a while. The death metal with the melody, it's almost 50-50. It's so, like, there isn't one side that overpowers the other at all. That being said, I do have kind of a little bit of a question. When do you think Melodeath crosses the line and becomes simply melodic metal with harsh vocals?
I think because
I was starting to think about that.
I think there's a distinction between melodic death metal and melodeath. Those are not the same two genres in my mind. Melodic death metal is death metal that has a lot of melody. I feel like bands like At the Gates, In Flames, Halo Effect, those are melodic death metal bands. There's also melodeath, which I think this is maybe a little bit closer to, where the melody and the cleans are almost just as prominent as the death metal pieces. The breaking point, I think, is really just like how aggressive the songs are and whether or not you include clean vocals and how much of your vocals are cleans on where that break occurs, for me at least. That said, I actually like this album. I like this album a lot. All of the death metal parts are absolutely fantastic, and the cleans are tolerable. They're not my favorite in the world or anything, but they're not bad at all, which is something you don't hear me say very often. So it's a great pick. If you hadn't taken it, I absolutely would have. And just to throw a little piece of information, SAROF, that wasn't always their band name. It was originally called Search Always Rise Over Finality, and they abbreviated it to SAROF with the first letter of each of those words. So,
well, thank you.
Interesting little tidbit.
Did you go back and listen to their debut?
I did not. I listened to this album, I think, 10 times or so. Like I said, it was in heavy rotation for me, but there was a couple albums that I was absolutely smitten with that I just listened to over and over again. So I didn't really have time to go back and listen to older stuff.
Well, I went ahead and gave it a listen, and it's actually very, very good as well. This album is not a drastic step up from the debut, but you can definitely see and hear the progression. This feels like a band that's right on the verge of crossing over to a more well-known level in the metal realm, anyway.
Yeah, well-known for an underground band.
Yeah. And so my final thought on this, SAROF proves that Melodeath doesn't need to choose between melody and aggression. Via Descendi simply makes sure both are incredibly well executed and balanced.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Like I said, it's a fantastic album. If my tolerance for cleans is good with this album, then I can guarantee that anybody listening to this podcast will also enjoy it. So
yeah, I'm sure they will.
All right, let's go ahead and play the track. Again, this is SAROF or SAROF off of Via Descendi, and the track that Christian chose is The Pit. I see why you chose that song.
Yep. Yep. The riff.
The riff.
Why wouldn't it be?
I mean, how could there
The
not be a
riff.
great riff in a song called The Pit, right?
Yeah, it has to be. I think that's a law. I think they would have been arrested if they created a song called The Pit,
No, I think it works really well.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to my first pick for the episode. This is the band Gleichmacher, and I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, I'm sure Christian can correct me.
Es ist Gleichmacher.
There we go. He gets all the German words right. The album is called Exil, which translates to exile. This is black metal from Dresden, Germany, their second full-length album since 2022. They used to be called I Am from 2013 to 2021, and they did a few singles during that time before they actually started doing albums under the new moniker. But they're currently unsigned. This is really, really good black metal with a lot of melody. I don't think it's quite melodic black metal, but it's close. But tons of memorable songs, great riffs, lots of catchy moments, really great vocal delivery. This album was supposed to come out at the same time as everything else, but for some reason it was delayed by 5 days on Spotify. So it came out towards the end of the cycle, but as soon as I heard it, I was hooked. And I've gone back and listened to this album, I think 11 or 12 times now. I couldn't not pick it, even with the shorter amount of listening, just because it got its hooks in me, and I really, really enjoy this album. I haven't checked to see if it's on vinyl, but I would definitely buy it on vinyl if it is. Did you look?
I did not, but I would definitely be in.
Yeah. What did you think of it?
The very first thing that I actually had to look up what Gleichmacher means, and it actually means equalizer, but in a negative way. Someone that brings you down to their level, and
Or puts you,
I certainly
puts you
enjoyed
below
that
them,
trip.
maybe?
Yeah, and I enjoyed that trip. So, is what it is. But there's nothing earth-shattering here. It's simply a very solid album, and sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, because when I first listened to it, that intro starts, and I'm like, okay, this sounds really promising. I hope this stays good. And the first track's really good, and the second track was even better. And I was like, well, let's hope they can keep up the momentum. And by the end of it, I was just smiling. I was like, oh man, because I hadn't really found an album aside from my top two that grabbed me this way until I heard this one. All of my honorable mentions are good, but flawed. So I was kind of struggling with what third pick to pick for this episode. And then I heard this and I was like, wow, this is exactly what I needed. It fits right into my requirements. So
yeah. And I mean, you told me about it because like you said, it showed up late and I hadn't gone back to look for it yet. So when you said something, I went ahead and gave it a listen right away. And I was like, oh, I'm glad we looked this up.
I'm glad we didn't miss it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and play the track. Again, Gleichmacher. You want to say it? I always say it wrong.
Gleichmacher.
There you go. The album is called Exil, and the track that I chose is Palingenese. Palingenese. I'm not sure how to pronounce that either. Do you know?
I'm not sure either. I don't have it in front of me.
Palingenese.
I got nothing. I don't even know what that means. It's been 32 years since I've been in Germany, so it's been a minute.
That's a fantastic song. The track actually translates to rebirth. That's what the word means loosely. But I can't pronounce it. So I apologize to the band if they're listening, or any other Germans, for the words that I butcher.
Yep. If that's the worst thing that you have against Germany, hey, I'll take that.
All right. Well, what do you got next, Christian?
Next on my list is the band Megascavenger. And man, I absolutely love this album. The album is called Toxic, Noxious, Undeath. We have death metal from Sweden. This is their 6th album on Extreme Music, and that's spelled XTREEM. The track that I picked is Heading for the Furnace, because why would it not?
Right.
Heading for the Furnace, man. What a great title for a song, or death metal song anyway. We're back into that groove of quote-unquote fun death metal that we love here at the Harsh Vocals Podcast. And this is firmly rooted in old-school Swedish death metal, but you can definitely tell everyone is having a blast. And I do mean everyone with a capital E, as there is a guest vocalist on every single track. And this is from bands like Vomitory, Merciless, Holy Side, just to name a few. The work this must have taken to make this all sound cohesive is a testament to the talent level here. Plain and simple, this is a love letter to Swedish death metal from beginning to end.
It's a love letter from the guy who's responsible for so much Swedish death metal, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically the solo project of Rogo Johansson, who you may know from Paganizer, Ravaged by the Yeti, a zillion other bands. Like, go look at his Metallum page. He's in almost every Swedish death metal band.
Well, my final thought on Megascavenger is this band proves that you don't need a new recipe when you already perfected the Swedish death metal equivalent of a bucket of rotting meat.
Nice.
And that's a throwback to Strong Bad.
Yeah.
Rotting meat.
I absolutely love this album too. I probably listened to this one closer to 20 times, and this was my second favorite album overall for the entire cycle. So if you hadn't taken it, it would have been a pick for me, absolutely. There's only one album I liked more. If you like death metal at all, I can't imagine you won't enjoy this.
Yeah, if you're a death metal fan, even in the slightest, you're going to like this album. There's nothing to not like here. So, yeah.
All right, well, let's go ahead and play the track. Again, this is Megascavenger off of Toxic, Noxious, Undeath. What a title. And again, the track is Heading for the Furnace. I love everything about that, man. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Again, the riff, that main riff in there, it's just so good.
But seriously, you could have picked any song off this album. There's not a weak song. It's very cohesive, as you mentioned. There's no bloat. Even with all the guest vocalists and everything, it feels like a concept extremely well executed all the way from beginning to end. Just a super impressive album overall. I expect it will end up, if not in our top end of your list, at least very close to our end of your list.
I think it will, because I don't see myself slowing down listening to this either.
I don't either.
Because I listened to it earlier today. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very good. All right, moving on to my next pick. This is the other death metal band that released an album that I really loved this cycle, and that is Temple of Dread. They put out an album called Dreadspawn Dominion, which another killer title. Death metal from Germany, their 6th full-length album since 2017 on Testimony Records, and I believe my first exposure to them. I don't know how they've done 6 albums, and this is the first time I've heard them, but I couldn't get enough of this. It's very riff-heavy, thrashy sort of death metal. The vocal style is not exactly like a traditional death metal growl. It's somewhere between like a shouted style and a growl, which I liked. I thought it gave it a very unique tone. The songwriting is excellent. Again, another album with zero bloat, just a lot of infectious riffs, a lot of great music, really fun headbanging album. I don't know what else to say.
I'm right there with you. You want some old school death metal? This really has you covered. Love the little thrash touches you mentioned that are all over this album, and it adds just that little extra to the overall sound. I actually went back and listened to a few of their other albums, and they're actually all pretty good. But you can see the progression through their albums, and I think a lot of that just comes with the consistency. They've created 6 albums in 7 years, so yeah, they're definitely moving in the right direction.
That's great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to more. Now they're on my radar, I won't ever forget them again.
Yeah, and I strongly suggest going back one album at a time, like their last one, then the one, because it's actually kind of funny how well you can see the progression.
I haven't done that, but I should. Whenever I get some downtime, I'll check out their previous works too.
You should. It's very, very good.
All right, let's go ahead and play the track. Again, this is Temple of Dread off of Dreadspawn Dominion, and the track that I chose is the title track, Dreadspawn Dominion.
Servants will rise.
I love the way the song opens, like that riff just puts you in the mood, and then it's just fun, from beginning to end. I love death metal like this. It's some of my favorite.
This whole era of fun death metal is just pitch perfect. I just absolutely love it.
Me too. All right, moving on to your next pick, which is, I don't know, a little more disgusting.
Just a little bit. We have the band Bloody Cum Shot.
Yes, we do.
Now that's definitely a name of a band. I give them that. The album is called Libidinosis. We have Melodeath from Japan. Shocking. This is the third album. They are unsigned. The track that I picked, get ready for this one, Devastating Bukkake.
Isn't all bukkake devastating?
Yeah,
it would be to me.
They all are. Yeah, they all are, as far as I would guess. And yeah, not exactly something that I would care to write a song about, to be honest. But hey.
Well, if you look at his
Metallum
page, it says that the whole project is focused on being as perverse as possible.
Well, he's definitely doing it.
And
he's got that.
Even libidinosis, like the album name, it just means a state of excessive sexual urges, which I think is apt for the song titles.
This album is really weird when you're listening to it, but in a very cool way. Admittedly, the band name is a bit ridiculous, but my God, when you listen to this and you're just blown away by tracks like the one we're going to play, as well as stuff like Morgue Between Her Legs and Necro Clit Carnage. But these are right next to an instrumental entitled Eternal Silence of Autumn, which is hauntingly beautiful, which is so bizarre when you right next to Devastating Bukkake. So the level of talent here is just shocking. And the guitar work is stunningly good. Let me ask you this. Do you get a lot of Moore's Principum-esque from this?
Oh, yeah. Actually, that was what I was going to compare it to, because I don't even normally make comparisons, but I definitely hear some Andy Gillian style guitar work in here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly where I got. And this is a one-man project from a guy named Junya Higuchi. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. And he's handling the composition, the production, and all the guitars. This guy also has a neoclassical melodeath band named Zemeth, Zemeth, which I also checked out, and it's excellent as well. And one guy doing all of this is just simply incredible, because these are very complex songs. These are not just chugga death metal singing about gross stuff. There's actually composition and technicality in all the songs. He's very talented. Yeah. But I do have another question for you. Do you think he could be a bigger name if he chose a serious band name, or do you think that the name itself, Bloody Cum Shot, draws interest enough? The old Wasp adage of animal fuck like a beast. That song is not good.
So Japan is such a weird place that he might actually be big there, and we have no way of knowing, right? I mean,
that's true.
He might be extremely revered there despite his name or in lieu of his name, but worldwide, you're going to hear Bloody Cum Shot, and you're not going to forget that name. So even if it is notoriety that makes people remember, there's something to be said for just picking a name like that just to get people to listen to you, just to get people to remember you. There's really no wrong or right answer, right? Really? Like we talked about Brian Ackerman last episode. How many people don't even listen to his music because it's just some guy's name?
Yeah.
If it was a band, more people would listen to it. This guy, people may not take him seriously until they listen to it, but I think a lot more people are going to be curious what the hell a band named Bloody Cum Shot sounds like than not.
Yeah, I could see both sides of it, saying he would probably get radio play maybe if not.
Right.
I don't know what the laws are like in Japan. I don't know.
Based on what I know, they're not prudes over there. So it could very well be that this is not something that would not make radio play just for having a name like that. And they use English words in weird ways over there. So maybe it doesn't translate to anything in Japan. And so half the people aren't even aware what it actually says.
Yeah, could be.
There's a lot of different variables, but worldwide, everybody being exposed to it, like I said, it's just such a weird subject matter to make so prevalent in your promotion of your music that I think very few people are going to go, no thanks. Most people are going to be like, let me see what that sounds like.
I do have to admit, when I first saw Bloody Cum Shot, I was like, oh, I got to hear this. This could be interesting. But then again, I'm a bit weird. So you got that.
I think all metalheads are a bit weird.
Yeah, just a little bit. A touch of the tism, as we say, you know. My final thought on this one, Bloody Cum Shot sounds like one of the worst band names imaginable until that guitar punches you in the face. At which point you realize Junya Higuchi has weaponized humor and beautiful melodies into one seriously deranged piece of melodeath, and all in the best possible ways.
I agree. I don't really know if I can say anything to summarize it better than that, but it's a fantastic album. I will never forget this band name, so if he puts out more material, I'll immediately know it should be good, and I will check it out.
It is, and it will.
All right, let's go ahead and play the track. Again, this is Bloody Cum Shot off of Libidinosis, and the track that Christian chose is Devastating Bukake.
When the streets are
That still makes me laugh. I just can't help it. It's the 14-year-old boy in me. I can't help it.
We're all a 14-year-old boy somewhere in here, so.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to my final pick for the episode and an album that I am absolutely in love with. This is from the band Aspen Sanctum. They released an album called To Withhold the Need to Conquer. This is atmospheric black metal from Michigan. Their debut album, this is the only release they have, so I'm assuming since this year, on Fiad Productions. In my opinion, this is the best atmospheric black metal album to come out this year. Possibly in the last 2 years. I absolutely fucking love this album. I've been listening to it nonstop since the very first time I heard it, to the detriment of everything else on my list today. I've probably heard this 50 times by now. It is phenomenal, and it just gets better and better with each repeat listen. I cannot sing the praises of this enough. If you like atmospheric black metal at all, you must hear this album. It is a must listen to. This will very likely be in my top 10. There's zero bloat, which is normally the big problem with atmospheric black metal. It meanders. It's not sure where it's going. This is extremely well written, extremely well crafted. And you'll see that because there are multiple songs that are shorter than 4 minutes, which you never, ever, ever see on an atmospheric black metal album. I actually chose a song under 4 minutes to play for this episode, so you can see that it's possible to do an atmospheric black metal song in that short amount of time and still have it flow and have a lot of variation. I'm beyond impressed with these guys. My only complaint is that this is not available on vinyl, and I would happily pay overseas shipping prices for this on vinyl. Luckily, they're in Michigan, so there's at least a chance of seeing them live at some point. But man, guys, please make a vinyl for me.
Yeah, I'd be in on it as well. One of the things that surprised me was there's brightness in this album, for lack of a better term.
No, yeah, that's a good term.
It doesn't just wallow in its misery, which a lot of atmospheric black metal can do quite a bit. And the way that those moments transition into blast beats and then ferocious vocals and then going into a doomy moments, and there's so much going on here. There's just a ton of stuff going on here, and it's all completely seamless. Like you don't notice like a section where you're like, okay, now here's the doom section. Now here's this. It's all part of one piece, and you just notice it by the way you absorb it while you're listening to it. And I absolutely love that. If you can pull that off, hey, more power to you, man.
It's a rare thing. Awesome. It's a rare thing to be able to transition so many times and have so much variety in every song while still being long form and not have it feel bloated and not have it feel like it's lost its way or wandering or whatever, especially in atmospheric black metal. It happens all the time, which is why so many bands, like I love atmospheric black metal, but so many bands just don't make my end of year list because even if the album is mostly good, there's still those moments of bloat. It's very rare to find one that's this succinct, and I'm beyond impressed. I really don't know.
I am as well.
How they accomplished this.
I probably listened to Megascavenger a little bit more than this one, but that's just because it seems like Aspen Sanctum you need to pay attention to. Megascavenger you kind of don't. So it just kind of feels like you get more out of the Aspen Sanctum if you fully concentrate on it.
I have certainly spent time active listening and passive listening to it, and it's fantastic either way. When I'm doing other things and have it in the background, it's just like the soundtrack to whatever I'm doing. But I can also just sit here and listen to it and focus on it and just get lost in everything that's going on. For a debut to be this close to perfect, it's shocking.
That is
just absolutely shocking.
I didn't even realize it was a debut.
Yeah.
Wow, that is.
And Fiad,
this level of quality on a debut.
Fiad just continues to just add fucking incredible bands to their roster. They're quickly becoming
one hell of a label, man.
One of my favorite labels. Yeah,
they are
just incredible. So, anyways, let's go ahead and play the track again. This is Aspen Sanctum off of To Withhold the Need to Conquer, and the track that I chose is Pillars. hopefully you guys appreciated that and can see what I meant. That was a relatively short atmospheric black metal song, and so much happened in such a short amount of time. Just so impressed with these guys. I'll reiterate it again, but if you like atmospheric black metal at all, you must listen to this album, period.
Completely agree.
All right. That does it for our picks. Let's move on to our honorable mentions for this episode. What do you have, Christian?
All right. I have a less than normal, but let's start out with the band Violence System. The album is The Hollowing. I really shouldn't call it an album. It is an EP, but it impressed me enough that I had to throw it in here. This is symphonic deathcore, and it's normally not something that like I would normally pick, but man, this is really, really well done. It's out of Atlanta, Georgia. This is their 4th EP on Dark Sales Entertainment. And if you like Shadow of Intent, Lorna Shore, or Carnifex, you're going to like this. And honestly, I think this is better than a lot of those. Then we have the band Deceased, but not the one you think it is. This here's a thrash band, crossover thrash band. The album is called Last Stand, and like I said, crossover thrash. They are from Singapore, and this is their debut. They are unsigned, and if you like Enforced, Toxic Holocaust, or Power Trip, you're going to like Deceased. Then we have Coma Control, Shed the Sleep. This is progressive death from Finland. This is their 2nd. They are unsigned. And if you're a fan of Atheist, Black Crown Initiate, or even Allegiant, you're going to find something to like here.
You thought I was really going to like this album, and I like parts of it, but there is so much. Like I'm hesitant to even call this progressive death metal because there are so many slow moments in this album. It's more akin to Doom than Death, I think, or maybe it's a Doom Death mixture. I don't know, because it doesn't really have the like hallmarks of Doom in the sound, but it's just the way they deliver so much stuff is slow. Like Coma being in the name is very fitting because it was lulling me into a coma while I listened to it. That said, there were moments I really liked, and if your tolerance for slower music is higher than mine, you may love this, but I couldn't get into it.
I had a little bit of trouble coming up with honorable mentions this go around. So
that's fair.
This here was definitely on my lower, but somebody out there is definitely going to
Somebody's absolutely going to love it. If you like slower music, you'll love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Next, we have the band Brain Bath, the album called Head Hunted. This is death metal from Scotland, another debut. They are unsigned. And this is for fans of Entombed, Obituary, or Dismember. We're just going to old school death quite a bit.
It's a fun album. I like this one. It's not perfect. There's some sameness throughout the songs, but it's pretty good.
Then we have a band that I've actually been a fan of for quite a while. This is Iron Flame, all one word. Worlds to Conquer. This is heavy/power metal from Martins Ferry, Ohio. This is their 6th album on High Roller Records. And if you like Visigoth, Jagd Panzer, Running Wild, or Pharaoh, you're probably going to like Iron Flame. And if you're into traditional or power metal at all, give these guys a listen if you haven't before. They're really, really good. They really should be a little bit more well-known. Then finally, Hulder Verbolgen. We have black metal from Washington in the United States. Washington State, I'm assuming. This is their 3rd album on 20 Buck Spin. And if you like Talk, Gorgoroth, or 1349, you're probably going to like Hulder. I left this one here up for last because this is, hands down, Hulder's best album.
I agree.
And I really don't think it's that close, really.
I liked the last one a lot, but there were so many like boring passages in the last one. This one's a lot better. It's a lot more, well crafted.
More succinct.
It still has just like droning moments in it. And I know that's kind of the style they're going for, but it just doesn't work all that well. The first time I listened to it, I thought, wow, they've really improved, and I like this a lot. I could see this being an honorable mention at least. Couple more listens and I was like, okay, this is still pretty good, but like by the 5th or 6th listen I was like, man, this is just really droning and slow and kind of boring. It's it's not terrible by any means. There's good moments. There's a lot of great things to like about it, but it just doesn't have staying power, I think is what it is.
Yeah, I could see that. I listened to it 3 or 4 times, and it didn't grab me enough to where I was searching it out further. I was all about Megascavenger this go around. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I had Aspen Sanctum to compare this to, I was just like, sorry, Holder.
Yeah. There is a big difference in quality there.
Yeah. Still, if you like Holder, you may like this a whole lot more than I do. Yeah. It's just something about it just can't keep my attention very well.
It's when it slows down.
Yeah, I just don't like slow. I don't like super slow music. I don't like clean vocals, and I don't like slow music.
Either.
I don't know what it is.
I have to be in the mood for it. Otherwise, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, if it's done a certain way, I can appreciate it. But in general, I think it's just not for me.
And I'm way more like slow music, like traditional rock and metal. I'm way more into slow music there than I am in metal.
Yeah. All right. Was that it for your honorable mentions?
Yep, that's all I got for honorable mentions.
All right. Moving on to mine. First up is the band Dark Plague. They released an album called Masquerade. This is black metal from France. Their 6th full length since 2004 on Satanath Records. You know how much I love French black metal, and this is very French. I just liked the other 3 albums I picked more. That's really the only reason that it ended up as an honorable mention. This was easily my number 4 pick, aside from the ones that Christian took. So it's a really good French black metal album, and if you like French black metal, you will like this too. So,
yep.
Next up is the band Graf, Graf. They released an album called Call of the Blood. This is black metal from the Netherlands, their 2nd full-length album since 2022. These guys are unsigned. I liked a lot of this. The songwriting is really good. It's just the vocal delivery throughout the entire album has very little variation. It's very one note, and black metal doesn't usually bother me as much as it does when it happens in death metal, but there's got to be some fluctuations in the vocal delivery. Like, aside from that, it's a pretty good album. That was the only reason it ended up as an honorable mention and not a pick.
I dug it. Did you get any Enslaved, like early Enslaved out of this?
I got early Enslaved. I got early Immortal. Like, there's a lot of great stuff in the DNA of this. If his vocal inflection would just go up or down sometimes, I would like it a lot more. It's just always that even note, and it just gets tedious the more you listen to it.
I can see that.
Next is the Abduction Sequence. They released an album called Dread Cycle. This is technical groove / death metal from Australia. Lots of bands coming out of Australia lately. Their debut album since 2013 on Bleeding Art Collective. Another album where there's a lot to appreciate. There's just too many songs, and some of the songs are bloated. They trimmed it a little bit, edited it a little bit. This would be fantastic. But as it stands, it's just really good. But if you're looking for some tech, groovy death, check it out. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it would have made my honorable mention.
Next is Suffocate the Skies, the album Obsidian Shores. This is melodic death / deathcore from Kansas. Their 2nd full-length album since 2017, also unsigned. The first couple of times I listened to this, I really liked it, and I actually thought it might end up higher. But then the more I listened to it, the more I started hearing that formulaic deathcore stuff in some of the songs, and I started hearing that the cleans just weren't really working for me. They do on, like, it's weird because the same clean singing all the way across the album. On some songs it works really well, and on other songs I just didn't like it. Your mileage may vary, so if you like deathcore more than I do, or you have no problem with cleans, you may enjoy this more than I did. The songs are great. It's just those little nitpicky things that kept it as an honorable mention for me.
Formulaic is bad.
Yeah,
I just can't help it.
Yeah, when it becomes so apparent, yeah, it's just not for me.
Yeah.
Next is Invocation Ritual, Altered Reality. This is death metal from Seattle, Washington. Their debut album since 2025 on Iron Fortress Records. This is former and current members of Oxygen Destroyer and Wormrot, and then a bunch of other bands as well. But it's not perfect. It's a little bit samey throughout. Still, there's a lot to appreciate. If you like Oxygen Destroyer, that mixture of thrash and death that they do, a lot of that's still in the DNA of this. So I think there's a lot to appreciate. It's just not a fully fleshed out project yet. I think their next album is going to be a lot better than their first one, personally.
I think so too.
And then my final honorable mention is the band Soul Razor. They released an album called Noxious Creation. This is black and death metal from Brazil. Their debut album since 2025. Again, another unsigned band. This album's raw and aggressive. There's a lot of vocal variety. There's a lot to like about this. I don't really have any complaints about this album. It's just that I didn't like it as much as the ones I picked. This is probably like my number 5 or number 6 favorite album in my list. It's very good. So if you're looking for something a little bit rawer, very aggressive, I think you'll dig this.
And just take a look at all these debuts.
All the debuts and all the unsigned bands. That. All these guys that are just DIY. I love it.
Yeah. And so good.
I know. We're living in a golden age of music.
Yeah, I feel that way. I seriously do. I feel like metal is nowhere near a stopping point. Like,
no.
It is better now than it has ever been.
I don't know. I think 2024 was a high point. I don't know if any year, anytime soon, will reach that level, because every single album that was in my like top 5 could easily be an album of the year any other year for as long as I can remember. But it's continued. There's still just phenomenal music. Like, the average quality of every release is so much higher now than it's ever been.
And I was just thinking about this the other day. Like, when you're listening to an album and you break it down into its individual pieces, like me being a drummer, like I'll listen to the drums. And like, if I listen to, let's say, Angelis Apatrida, right? Who, phenomenal drummer. And when I listen to their albums, there is nothing that I would change. It's just pitch perfect drumming all the way through. And there's nothing that I could see that would make it any better. And this goes for just about every damn band we talk about on this show. I mean, it just seems like if it makes it as a pick, it is just so well crafted that. And
usually there's overflow too. Like, normally we'll have 6 incredible albums that we wouldn't change a thing about, and then an additional 3 or 4 each in our honorable mentions list that are still excellent albums, nothing we would change. Mm-hmm. They just weren't quite as enjoyable as the ones we picked. And then there's a whole laundry list of honorable mentions that, like, if you tweaked just a little thing, they'd be just as good as these other ones. And then there's so many we don't even talk about. So many that we listened to once and we're like, oh, that was pretty good, but I probably won't return to it. And like, those bands, 2 years down the line, we'll hear from them again and they'll put out something that blows our minds. Like, the level of quality is just outrageous these days. It drives me crazy when I see people online that feel the opposite. They're like, there's nothing good that's come out in 20 years or 40 years, whatever it might be.
And they're listening to the same 3 albums. Mm-hmm. Yeah, way to go.
They're like, everything you listen to now is derivative. Everything you listen to is derivative of X, Y, and Z Swedish bands. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, you could choose to look at it that way, but there's also a shit ton of innovation built into all this that you're not hearing because you have that opinion. I just don't get the closed-mindedness when it comes to this music because there's so much variety.
Like the very first time I heard Wayfair, I was just like, this shouldn't work, but my God, does this work well. Mm-hmm. you're just like, oh, there you go. Now I know. So it's just crazy.
I'll check out pretty much anything that doesn't say power metal or doom metal on it.
There you go.
All right, that does it for our honorable mentions. Moving on to our topic for this episode. So this one actually came from Christian, and this was his idea to talk about our most listened to albums of all time. These may not all be metal albums. They may not all be even metal adjacent, but these are the albums that I think were probably influential in developing our tastes because we've returned to them so many times. So I'll let you kick us off.
All right. The impetus really for this was I was sitting there thinking, like, what are the albums that I've just, like, for 30 years come back to, 40 years come back to over and over and over again. I make songs off of these albums onto playlists that I listen to quite a bit. And these may not be my favorite albums of all time, but they're definitely the ones that I've listened to the most. And I would start out with, like, I guess you could say honorable mentions to a certain extent, because, like, AC/DC, of course, I've probably listened to AC/DC probably more than any other band ever. Just because it's always there. I'm a fan of AC/DC, but you'll hear it on the radio. That's something that you can run into just about anywhere you go, sporting events, anything. It's just always there. Other bands on that type of list would be bands like Rush or Van Halen or Rat, Motley Crue, Dokken, the whole...
anything that falls into like the well-known classic rock these days. I think that if you are a person living in the world, you've been exposed to those songs hundreds of times just from watching TV, listening to the radio, walking around a store. Yeah. Probably more so if you actually listen to a classic rock radio station growing up or something. Those aren't on my list, but I'm certain that I've heard those songs at least close to as much as the ones I'm going to talk about.
Yep. I've probably listened to Back in Black more than, I don't know, most of these. I would have no idea how many times I've listened to Back in Black. Who knows? But as far as my list goes, these are the albums that I constantly return to. Mm-hmm. So I picked 5 here, and I'm just going to go in reverse order. And my first album that I would talk about is Sacred Reich and their album Ignorance. I've listened to that album hundreds of times, if not more. It's not a very long album. I think it's right in the 35 to 40 minute range. And it's just so well done, especially for a debut. And it to be that good. The song Ignorance itself, I've easily listened to that song 500-600 times. It is just so well done. So probably my 5th one would probably be Ignorance from Sacred Reich.
I can see that. It's a good pick. I've probably heard that 3 or 4 times. I remember the album. I remember the album cover especially, but that one never really got its hooks in me. It was never one that I returned to a whole lot.
I had to buy 2 copies of the vinyl because I wore out the first one, if that tells you anything. Yeah. It started to skip, and I was like, oh, time to get a new one. So I've actually worn that album out. Legit.
Fair enough. Well, I actually have, 7? I have 6 albums on my list, starting with the one that first got me into appreciating heavy music, and that was Offspring's Smash from back in 1991 or 92. I was 10 years old when I first heard it, and it completely changed my life. I think it changed a lot of people's lives, but in different ways that year, because it was the most popular album. It was what everybody I knew that was cool was talking about. I burned through, 6 different copies of cassette tapes of that album, just listening to it nonstop all the time. But it's at its core very punky, but it also has some metal elements. It has some very fast-paced drumming, fast guitars. It's the most metal-ish thing that Offspring ever did before they became a pop-punk band. But it definitely created something inside of me that made me want to seek out heavier and darker music. And I still love that album. I still go back and play it a couple times a year at least. Smash is one of my favorite songs of all time. It's just, I love the lyrics. I love the guitar. I love everything about it. So...
Oh, I'm a big Offspring fan. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, it was probably the most influential album of my entire life. If I have to give that kind of credit to an album, it is responsible for me liking fast, aggressive music. So,
I could see
easy
that.
pick.
And I figured this would probably be dictated a lot by age. Me, obviously, being... I'm 13 years older than you.
Something like that.
Yeah. And so, mine will be a little bit more of the classic metal. Mm-hmm. But before that, my number 4 of probably the album that I've listened to the most is Pretty Hate Machine from 9 Inch Nails. My God, when I first heard that album, I just could not get enough of it. It was on repeat for, I would probably say, 3 to 4 months. It's like that's all the fuck I listen to. Just everything about that album is just pitch fucking perfect. Especially, I was also going through breakup at the time, and my God,
there's not a better breakup album in the world.
That album is so great if you're going through a breakup. And whoever this girl is who Trent is talking about, dear Lord, she feels really, really, really bad.
Let's hope so.
My God, every other song on there is about relationships and being shit on in your relationship, and it's just so well done.
It's a masterpiece.
So,
Trent Reznor made like 6 masterpieces in a row. He's just insanely talented. And I mean, my second album I'm going to talk about is also a Nine Inch Nails album, although it's not Pretty Hate Machine. Pretty much from 8th grade all the way up until I graduated high school, Nine Inch Nails was all I listened to. On repeat, all day long, every day, nonstop, in the car, at home, working out, at work. I exposed everybody I could, find to every single Nine Inch Nails album I could play. I owned all the bootlegs. I owned all the EPs. I had a portable CD player, and I just listened everywhere I was, all the time, no matter what. I have equal love for Pretty Hate Machine, Downward Spiral, Broken, Fixed, Sin, like all those early EPs and singles, equal love for every single one. But my most listened to, I'm pretty sure, is Broken. Wish and Last are 2 of the best songs ever written, period. Just so aggressive and so powerful. They meant so much to me as a kid, and they still do. And I just listened to that album more than probably any other album in my entire life. I also love some of the newer stuff. With Teeth is great. Fragile is a masterpiece. Trent's just super talented. I wish he would go back to doing that kind of music again instead of movie soundtracks and weird ambient sound kind of stuff. But we've got the old stuff, right? It's just like with Emperor.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, I constantly talk about how lyrics really don't mean anything to me unless it's Nine Inch Nails.
Same.
Lyrics, oh my. His lyrics are so well done.
He's a poet.
Yeah. And just stuff like, if I was twice the man I could be, I'd still be half of what you need. Mm-hmm. My God, how perfect is that? It's just so good. So good.
Yep. Completely agree. What do you got next?
So you want to go next or I go?
No, you go next.
You have one more than me.
I can go again if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
My next choice is In Flames Horacle. Really, I could pick any In Flames album from those early ones, but I think Horacle is the one I've listened to the most because it was my favorite. In Flames was extremely important in my progression to liking death metal and liking blast beats and more aggressive, real, quote-unquote, metal. Before then, I was listening to Nine Inch Nails, Static X, Fear Factory, and all those bands are great, but they're all a little bit more mainstream, I guess. In Flames has become fairly mainstream as time has gone on, but back then, nobody was listening to them. And In Flames, Sentenced, Dimmu Borgir, Immortal, like those 4 bands all sort of just gave me the push to become a fan of like extreme metal. And Horacle is just such a perfect album. I still go back and listen to it all the time. I love old In Flames. I'm glad they're kind of returning to form with that. And I'm actually going to go to see them on tour again with Trivium in a few months. This will be my 14th time to see In Flames live.
Wow.
They used to be my favorite band. I don't love everything they've done after like Reroute to Remain. Foregone was pretty good, but everything between there was definitely not geared for me. But they're still fantastic live. So, actually, did you? They played the Gothenburg Metal Festival or something like that this past week. Did you see that?
I did not.
So they had Michael Stana join them on stage and play Behind Space, and then they also did another tribute to At the Gates. And played a couple of At the Gates songs with him doing vocals.
Nice.
I saw the videos. It's very cool. If you haven't seen them, you should go check them out.
Crazy, man. Crazy. Next on my list, and this here is probably the album that is probably most responsible for me getting into more extreme metal. And when I found this band, it was instant love from the very beginning. I went back and got every single one of their albums, and now I've purchased them all on vinyl. But Opeth, Blackwater Park, my God, when I first heard that, it was like a revelation. I didn't know you could do this. How insanely beautiful he can make stuff sound with the harsh vocals, and when you talk to him, I've talked to him a couple of times, and when you're in a conversation with him, he just absolutely sounds like just some old hippie dude, like from those old movies and shit. It's just like, just chilling out.
There's a video of him that's making the rounds online too, where he does like a comedy set during one of his shows, and he's like playing guitar while he does comedy. It's really funny. You should go find that too.
Oh, I will. Because he actually is pretty damn funny.
Yeah, I thought he was hilarious in the little bit that I watched of it. So,
oh, nice. I'll have to look that up as soon as we get finished here.
All right, next for me is the band Sentenced, who I've mentioned my love for many, many times on the show. Most listened to album is probably Crimson, but it's got to be neck and neck with Cold White Light. I don't know which is actually the right one, but that era of Sentenced was just so impactful for me. I've been depressed my whole life. Nine Inch Nails style depression is like you feed into it a little bit, but Sentenced is like a totally different take on it because you feel it, but it's also like a little bit more tongue-in-cheek in their approach.
Cathartic.
So you, I mean,
a bit more cathartic.
I think both of them could be cathartic, but I think Nine Inch Nails tends to wallow in it, whereas Sentence allows you to process it while also kind of laughing at yourself for being in that state. With songs like Excuse Me While I Kill Myself and things like that, it's like you can kind of just laugh at the absurdity of feeling this way when you have no reason to feel this way, but you're also acknowledging that you feel this way. So when I was going through some of my worst depression in my early 20s and stuff, Sentenced was just always on repeat for me. And they're a band that I will love forever. I own all the albums on vinyl. Finally was able to get Frozen a few months ago. And all these bands are making comebacks and doing reunion tours and announcing new albums out of the blue. I just am crossing my fingers and hoping to die that a new Sentenced album or some kind of announcement happens, because I would love to see these guys come back in any form.
I'm right there with you. We even did a podcast with Carrie about Sentence. That's how much we're all fans of the band.
Yeah, pretty much everybody in our friend group loves them equally.
Yeah. It's such a great band. Next on my list is Number of the Beast or Live After Death. One of those two. I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan. Always have been.
What?
Yeah. It's crazy, I know. Crazy, I know. And again, the era that I grew up, Iron Maiden was the shit. They're still selling out arenas. This band is just everywhere, always has been. And it just seems like both of those albums, Number of the Beast and Live After Death, the main reason I've probably listened to those more than any other Iron Maiden album is simply because it has my favorite song on there, Hallowed Be Thy Name, which is, like I've mentioned before on this show, the song that I've listened to most in my entire life. It's not even remotely close. So it's just an absolutely perfect song. Nobody will ever convince me otherwise. So take that for what it is. Live After Death, my second most listened to album of all time, probably.
That doesn't surprise me. Not at all.
I would be surprised if it did surprise you.
Yeah. My next one is Immortal, At the Heart of Winter. I love most of Immortal's discography. There's a few songs that aren't that great in the earliest releases, but in general, I'm a huge Immortal fan, always have been. And At the Heart of Winter is like kind of when they reach their pinnacle, I think. It's an album that I return to very, very often. Just every single song is a banger. We went and saw Abath perform at Hell's Heroes a couple of years ago, and he played pretty much the whole album with his band. And that was one of the best experiences of my entire life. I had chills the entire time. I was smiling from ear to ear.
I just had a smile on my face for fucking an hour. Like, it was so good.
And it really is just one of my, if not my favorite album of all time. Like, I absolutely fucking love that album. And I've just listened to it so much that I know it's very, very, very high on my list of most listened to albums.
Yeah. I could definitely see that. I've listened to that quite a bit as well. And finally, the last one on my list is, a wise man once said that a sound that was powerful enough to turn goat piss into gasoline from the Blues Brothers. But it's Master of Puppets from Metallica. When I first heard that, I can honestly say it changed my life. Because I always liked music before, and I listened to music quite a bit even before that album came out. But man, when that album came out, it was like a whole different thing. I became obsessed with music after that. And yeah, I became obsessed with Metallica after that. I actually got a Metallica tattoo at one point, which has since been covered up. But I can't even explain how important that album was. I would say it shaped the person I am today just because of that album.
I think that's true for a lot of metalheads. It was definitely a seminal album for me, too. I don't think I've listened to it as much as I listened to Nine Inch Nails, but in that same era is sort of when I discovered Metallica. And Master of Puppets was clearly my favorite Metallica album. I liked other ones too, and Justice for All was really good. Kill 'Em All, like, there was other stuff I listened to a lot. Even the Black Album has some good stuff on it, but it's not my favorite. But Master of Puppets was definitely my most listened to, and it was a precursor to me seeking out things like In Flames. Without Master of Puppets, I don't think I would have taken that next step towards looking for more melodic death metal kind of stuff. So definitely it was an important part of my journey too. It's
I kind of view that as there are very few absolutely 100% perfect albums, but that is 100% a perfect album.
That's arguably the best thrash metal album ever made.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people throw up Megadeth, Rust in Peace as probably the best thrash. I don't think so. I think it's Master of Puppets.
You still got Dave singing, and
yeah,
like I just can't get past it. It's fucking terrible. He's always been terrible.
Yeah, he is. I mean, Megadeth would have been infinitely better if he would have just got a vocalist.
Yeah, if he had like anybody from any band we've ever talked about as an honorable mention as his vocalist, Megadeth would be the biggest band in the world probably, but he didn't. He used himself, and I hate his voice. I can't listen to Megadeth at all.
It definitely takes a little bit to get used to. I don't mind it, but I definitely see that's the thing. What everybody talks about.
It's like you're trying to throw up Megadeth, Rust in Peace against Master of Puppets. Like, you could be cold, no idea what you're going to listen to, completely brand new to metal, off the street. You play Master of Puppets, holy shit. You play Megadeth, and it's like, those vocals are bad. Like, maybe if I listen to it 20 more times, I'll appreciate it. They're not even comparable. They're not even close to comparable.
I can see the thing that gets me is the guitar playing.
Yeah, but it's a whole. If you're looking at the whole package,
Peace,
I mean, I'm not arguing the guitar work, because the guitar work's phenomenal. The songwriting's phenomenal. It's a very good album. And if you can get past Dave's vocals, you'll love it. I get that.
Yep.
But you can't even. They're not even in the same league. Master of Puppets is S tier at best. Rust in Peace is A tier. Just my opinion.
You never know.
Anyways, my final one, because I wanted to include one somewhat recent album, is Harakiri for the Sky, Arson. I know that album is not that old. It's just about a decade old at this point, but I have listened to that more than any modern release, period. I love Harakiri for the Sky, and that is my favorite of their albums. Basically, whenever I don't know what to listen to, I put it on. Whenever I'm in the mood for it, I put it on. Whenever I'm going to listen to Harakiri, most of the time, that's the album that I put on. I occasionally will go back through the whole discography because I like them all, but Arson just has so many songs that mean so much to me that I love it. it will continue to be listened to for the rest of my life. So it will definitely earn its spot in this list.
And maybe in the future, on a future episode or whatever, we'll do our most listened to albums from like just the last 10 years. That'd be interesting.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, because I'd have to seriously think about it. What album that I seriously go back to?
I think we would have.
often.
I think we would have like 3 or 4 that overlap. I think there'd be some maybe that differ, but I think we'd both probably pick Behemoth the Satanist. I'd probably pick Owls. I don't know if you would. I don't know. But yeah, that might be an interesting topic for a future episode.
I can tell you Solemn from In Vain would be super high up.
Pretty high.
I still go back to that.
Pretty high for me too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that could be an interesting topic for a future episode.
Sweet.
All right, that does it for our topic for this one. Let's go ahead and move into our pickups. Have you picked up anything cool recently, Christian?
Believe it or not, I picked up a U2 album
And threw it away?
on vinyl. Yeah.
Pick it up and throw it away? What do you mean?
Here we go. See, and what makes this album good is it's only 1980 to 1990. So the era that U2 was actually good. So I picked that up. And then I picked up Queensryche, The Warning.
That's cool.
I didn't have that on vinyl. And this is pretty badass. It's a new album from The Casualties.
Oh, neat.
Punk band. Fucking love that band. But that's all I picked up, those 3. I have some stuff on the way, though.
Yeah, I don't have anything new that I've ordered. Like I said, I absolutely would have bought the Aspen Sanctum album on vinyl if I could have. I haven't looked to see if Gleichmacher is available, but if it is, I'll probably buy that. There is some other things I can mention here, though. Hell's Heroes just announced their lineup, and there's some really exciting bands coming. Evan Pendant is playing, Woe Bather, Gus Verlant. Most exciting, though, is that Gallowbraid is going to be playing Ashen Eidolon in its entirety, which I'm fucking stoked for. Right now, this could change, but right now the plan now is for Christian to come down, and we'll both be there again. So if you're listening to the show, you want to come meet us, we'll be there. I really want to see that Gallowbraid set. But, that could change. That's just the plan for now. So I'm tentatively very excited for it. And there's still some more bands to announce, too, so there might be even more black metal stuff to make it worthwhile.
I just figured you'd be super excited about Overkill. I know you're a huge fan of Bobby Blintz's vocals.
I will follow you. I will follow you to whatever thrash bands you want to listen to that are there. I can't say I'll enjoy them, but I'll be there.
I was actually surprised Exhumer is going to be there. I don't think they've toured the U.S. in quite a while.
Not that I can remember.
It's been quite a bit. And who else was a really big name that I was surprised? Beharit. Oh
yeah, Beharit. I'm excited for Beharit. They're one of the headliners, so they should do like a longer set this time.
Nice. Yeah, I'm excited.
Should be fun. Most of our friends and podcasting buddies will be there, so we'll have a good time regardless. But if listeners want to come and hang out too, we're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. Other things, there was a bunch of albums announced over the last couple of weeks that I'm excited about. There's a new Enslaved album coming out this year.
Yep.
Very excited for that. New Bloodman. We've talked about Bloodman every year. Usually he releases his album November or December. So it's like right at the end, right at the cutoff for album of the year. And so it's really hard to even like put it in the consideration, but it's always like such a fucking good album that it screws up our end of year list. This time he's releasing it on the day before Halloween. So I'm very excited for the third album. I'm going to have to pre-order that on vinyl, which I haven't yet, but I'm a huge fan of Bloodman.
And have we mentioned Gallowbraid's working on new material?
Yeah, we mentioned that, and we talked about their performance at Fortress Fest, because they've done this set at 3 different...
That's right.
3 different venues so far. Hell's Heroes will be the 4th, I think. But I don't know how many more they're going to do. I'm just glad that Jake Rogers is giving some effort to the project again, because I think it's his best project.
Yeah, I think so too.
Other albums I'm excited about, A Secret Revealed. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that band, but they're an absolutely fantastic black metal band. Their new album's coming out. Ein Vigi, if you remember that album from 2 years ago, ended up in my top 5. I'm really excited for the new one, except shipping from Sweden, I think it is like $140 or something.
Jesus.
So I can't buy it on vinyl, which really, really sucks. because I would love to have it. And then Furtan. I've liked the last couple of Furtan albums a lot, but too much flowery violin stuff like kind of held him back from making it to the forefront of our lists. I've heard the new album, and there's still a little bit of that, but they've really pulled it back. It's like accent stuff instead of being at the forefront. And the new Furtan album is fucking incredible. I'm really, really excited for you guys to hear it.
I'll have to listen to that promo then.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that one. So that's all I really got. Nothing I've picked up yet, but just some things that I'm excited about, and I feel like that's the place to mention them. You got anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Okay, let's move into our submission. So this time, the submission track comes from a band called HKSPK. The track is called Rot in Despair, and they're releasing an album on September 11th of this year called Heimkehr, Heimkehr. This is black and death metal from Brandenburg, Germany. Their second full-length album since 2023. They're currently unsigned. It's a 3-piece, and they reached out and sent me all the information about the album and the songs. They've actually released 2 singles from the album so far, and both of them are absolutely incredible. I actually did go back and listen to some songs off their older EPs. There's a lot of progression in the songs, a lot of variance. It's not just very straightforward black and death metal. Even in the track that we're going to play, Rot in Despair, it starts out very aggressive, very in your face, but then about a third of the way, maybe almost halfway through the song, it starts changing and fluctuating and evolves. And I really love that. I really love the way that they've constructed this song and the previous songs of theirs that I heard. This is my first exposure to them, but I could totally see myself buying this on vinyl and listening to this on a regular basis. This is exactly the kind of black and death metal that I love. What did you think of it, Christian?
I actually really liked it as well. And like when I was talking earlier about a band that can make their music sound seamless through their transitions, this band does the exact same thing. And the song, it takes you on a journey, and it has different parts, but those parts blend together so seamlessly and so well. It's a really well written song. I was very impressed by it.
Yeah, I was too. I did a little more research on the band too. I looked on Metallum, so because I wasn't sure what HKSPK meant, or if that was like a German abbreviation or something that I couldn't possibly pronounce.
I got nothing.
But according to Metallum, their band used to be called Hello Kitty Scum Porn Killer.
Okay.
And so they just took the first letter of each of those, and now their band is called HKSPK.
When you sent me the submission track, I think I asked you, how do you say that?
Any of these that have like consonants next to each other, I just spell them out because I'm sure I'm going to pronounce it wrong.
Yeah.
But anyways, the track is fantastic. Thank you guys so much for submitting. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to more. I'm excited to hear the full album when it does come out. Hopefully our listeners will check it out too. Again, the band is HKSPK. The album that is coming out is called Heimkehr, Heimkehr. And the track that they sent in is Rot in Despair. Hope you guys enjoy it. And we'll see you back in a couple of weeks.
Episode 66 coming up.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Evil.